What's up everyone, Zach Seif here, and today we're going to talk about my band Rumble City Records' very first full band show. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name is Zach Seif. I post regular content on what it's like being a full-time musician in today's modern music industry, so if you like what you see today, be sure to take 2 seconds, leave a comment on your thoughts about today's topic, and make sure you subscribe so you can see more videos in the future. For those of you who are not new, you know that I don't usually start all my gig vlogs this way. I'm usually already at the venue, packing my car, kind of telling a story about why this particular show is special. But I wanted to start in the studio today because we're going to dive deeper into the way that a brand new band can approach playing their very first show to make sure that it's an absolute success. Rumble City Records started last year. One of my good friends, Gabe, who used to be in Evolution X, reached out and said that he wanted to do some studio quality cover videos, and he asked me if I wanted to be the guitar player for that project. And we did a video of Incubus's Pardon Me, and that video got a really great response, and we were like, let's do another one. So later last year, we ended up doing a cover of Muse's Uprising, but we made it heavier, and we were like, let's make this a real band, and thus today's our very first full band show. Since what I do is mainly covers, we had to figure out what style of music we wanted to cover, because we didn't just want to be another general band like Evolution X and Crash the Party. We wanted to really focus and find our niche. So we settled on 90s and 2000s hard rock and alternative metal. So we're playing everything from Stone Temple Pilots and Alice in Chains to Limp Bizkit and Korn. A lot of stuff that you don't typically hear at a typical bar gig and not played as well, which brings us to our next point. How are we going to stand out from all the other cover bands out there? Well, considering we all have a massive amount of experience touring, playing in multiple bands, and running massive setups and big productions, some backing tracks that we were using in Evolution X and Crash the Party, and also some new ones that I made. We're going full out with a full PA with mains, monitors, and subwoofers on top of in-ear monitors and amps on stage so that we have a nice full stereo 3D sound. We have a full light show that we're bringing. We're not just going to buy 1 or 2 lights and place them randomly. We have towers, we have tree lights, and we have moving heads to make it really look like a big spectacle. Sound-wise, how do we sound better than the other bands? I mean, that obviously just comes with practice over time, but also we have all professional top-of-the-line equipment. I'm running Fractals, Phil's running Headrush, Gabe has really nice quality drums, we all have really quality microphones, and we all have experience running live sound in venues ranging from 50 to 200 caps to 4,000 plus. So we know exactly what a real show is supposed to sound like. We had to do the work ahead of time. We showed up to our one full band rehearsal, knowing the entire set top to bottom, every start, every ending, every cue, every arrangement, anything that we needed to play the song perfectly, we came into rehearsal already knowing. If you're showing up to band practice not knowing this stuff, you're not prepared. You need to do all of your homework at home so that you don't even feel the need to have a rehearsal. You should be able to just show up to the gig and play. Now, sure, if you're a brand new band that's never played before and this is everyone's first show, you might need some band rehearsals to just kind of tighten up the set. But we talked about all of that ahead of time, and we agreed on the arrangements ahead of time, as is shown in our backing tracks and the click tracks that we use. We have a definitive start and a definitive stop, and that allows us to keep our set times perfectly calculated. That means that we won't be starting or ending early. It means that we have equally placed breaks to help keep the flow of the night really smooth. We don't have to worry about that because everything is perfectly spaced out, and that allows us to just start the set, play through the show, and not have to worry about constantly checking the clock or worrying if we're speeding up or dragging. Everything is ready to go. So when you're starting out for the first time as a band, something that you should always have with you is a stage plot. Stage plot is a diagram showing where every member of your band is going to be on stage, what their equipment is, and what your input list is. Basically, that's a list of everything that needs to be plugged into the sound system so that the audience as well as the band can hear themselves on stage. Now, the set list might seem really obvious, but I have a couple key notes here that I want to point out. I have the start and end time for every set, and I also have specific songs that are in different tunings color coded. So all of the songs that are in regular text are just played in our standard half step down tuning. Anything that is bold and has a D next to it means I go into a drop D tuning, and I have two guitars, one in standard, one in drop D. It's easier to swap, and my drop D guitar is perfectly intonated for drop D tuning, which means that my tuning is going to be super consistent throughout the evening. And then there are a couple songs where I have to go slightly higher or slightly lower. There's no need to bring 4 guitars to a show, especially when I only need these different tunings for 3 total songs. Wish and Chop Suey are an additional step down in drop C. So on my Fractal, I have a pitch block that goes down a half step. Those are the ones in blue. And then for Freak on a Leash, we want to play it in standard concert D minor / A to match the recording. So again, in my pitch block, I have a second channel set to go a half step higher. And then one final thing that I want to point out is when it comes to our tracks, I made sure that all of them are balanced volume wise between the clicks themselves and the tracks themselves, so that when we press play, we don't have to constantly move faders throughout the evening. And that's something that you just know how to do from experience, and over time using a DAW you can watch and read meters, but also use your ears, as certain frequencies are obviously going to be more pronounced once you get higher in volume. We know that as the Fletcher-Munson curve, which I highly recommend you check out. Last but certainly not least, let's talk about tone. This guitar tone is one of the most straightforward ones I have. For my clean tone, I have a Fender Deluxe Reverb on the edge of breakup, so there's just a little bit of grit to make it sound more rock and metal. And for the mid-gain stuff, we have the Mesa Dual Rectifier Orange channel, which has a little bit of juice and a little bit of fullness to do some of the tunes that need a little bit less gain, like Your Love by The Outfield, Sex on Fire by Kings of Leon. And for certain parts of songs, like the verses where I want a little less gain and then get heavier in the chorus, like One Step Closer or The Red. And then for the high gain tone, it's a Mesa Dual Rectifier on the red channel with a little overdrive and a little bit of EQ to really give it that new metal butt rock kind of sound. It's so filthy, so thick, and so awesome. And then the lead tone just adds a stereo delay. You know, I like my Petrucci delay with the kind of ping pong delay sound. That's really awesome. And then a 3 dB boost here to kind of cut through. And I also have the EQ applied because if I turn this off, it was too drastic of an EQ change. So I leave that there and I just boost the volume and we're good to go from there. Again, it's a metal show. Now, because this is a rock and metal show, the hair has to match. And I would argue that the hair matches. If you ask me what kind of music we're playing tonight, and I just point to my head, you should get a pretty good idea as to what we're going to be playing. I have arrived at Dowling's Irish Pub. This is the first time I'm playing like a bar pub gig in a long time. I'm actually really stoked and actually slightly nervous. Like, I never ever get stage fright or nervous before a show these days, but when you're used to playing bigger venues or weddings all the time where you like don't really know anyone and it's a full-on production, it's a totally different vibe
than playing a smaller, more intimate place, especially when I have so many friends and family coming out. I think I'm going to know several dozen people tonight, which is crazy to think about, and I'm so thankful for that support. But it puts just a little bit of pressure on you as a performer, because like, you don't want to mess up in front of people, you know. I mean, I feel more than prepared for this show, and I'm really stoked for it. So we've got about 15 minutes until we can load in, and then we're gonna do the thing. All right, y'all, we got Gabe in the house. What up, bro? This is our first gig together, not including the acoustic one, since like, what, 2021?
Yep.
2022, something like that?
It's been a while.
You looking forward to it?
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
Let's do it. Like I said, we've got a full light show tonight that I picked up from down the shore. Got my guitar gear, pedal board, we've got some more moving heads, we've got amps, all sorts of stuff. We are mid-setup, and I don't think this place has ever had like a full sound system and light show before, because there was like no room on this stage.